Hi, Will and Luke. Henry says hello. I'm making this video for you today because I've wanted to do this the whole entire stay-at-home orders, but it's been busy. As much as we've been home, I still have had a lot to do trying to online teach Ollie, Henry, and Vivian, the house has been a lot more messy since they've been home, and a lot more chores for me. But I have a book I wanted to read to you that I think both of you will really like, as it has to do with football. It's called Family Huddle. And what's really neat is that this book is dedicated to, on this first page, oh no, wait, maybe it's the second page. Where did I see that? It's dedicated to, and it says it right here, Gan, Papa, Sis, and Buddy. And if you knew, first of all, Papa John, right, is Papa, but Papa John's mom is named Sis, right? We call her great-grandma Sis. And her brother, which would be your great-great-uncle, his name was Buddy. So it's just interesting how there's a sis and a buddy in this. So here's the book, and I'll hopefully be able to show you the pictures. Okay? But it says, Archie was in the front yard in New Orleans playing with his 3 sons, Cooper, Peyton, and Eli. It was Peyton's turn at their favorite game, amazing catches. Go deep, called Archie. It was the boys' favorite play. Peyton ran full speed across the lawn. His dad threw the ball high and far. Peyton dived and caught the ball on his fingertips. He rolled to a stop in the grass as his brothers cheered. The neighbor's dog licked his face. Olivia, their mom, was laughing on the front porch. Nice catch, Peyton. You boys come in and wash up before we go. This weekend is going to be filled with family and football. Come on, just one more play, shouted Eli. I'll be the quarterback. Fade route. That's the name of the play. Fade route. Once the car was packed, the boys stood together by the driveway. The football was hidden under Peyton's arm. As their mom and dad headed toward the car, Peyton handed the ball to Eli. Peyton and Cooper ran toward their parents, distracting them. Eli ran the ball into the back seat of the car. It was a perfect quarterback sneak. There they are in the car. It was a long drive to Drew, Mississippi, where Archie's mom lived. The boys liked playing sports, trivia games to pass the time. This one was called the numbers game. 34, said Cooper, sitting in the back seat with his brothers. 34. Let's see. Peyton thought about it and came up with a football player who wore jersey number 34. Walter Payton, he said. Next, it was Peyton's turn. 8. Before Cooper could answer, Eli called out, my age and Dad's number. Cooper and Eli laughed out loud. They played the numbers game over and over again. And these are all the Manning brothers, who all played football. And their dad was Archie Manning, who also played football and must have been number 8. And this book is a book that we have read to every child in their classroom, to Ollie and Henry, when they turned 8. And Vivian, unfortunately, when she turned 8, we weren't in the classroom. We were home, so we couldn't read this for her birthday. But it's about one of them is an 8-year-old boy, right? Which one was it that was 8? It was Eli, the youngest, yelled out, my age, so he was 8. Archie stopped a block from his mom's small brick house and let the boys run the rest of the way. Grandma Sis, they called. Their grandma heard them coming. She put down her knitting needles and picked up a plate of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. She stepped outside and could see them zigzagging as they threw the football to each other. Hi, boys, said Grandma Sis. There's plenty of cookies for everyone. And this even looks a little bit like the way Sis used to look when she was in her younger years. Great Grandma Sis. And she always had a cat, too. So there's this picture here, out in the yard playing football. After lunch, everyone went outside for a group photograph. Olivia hugged the boys and said, "As long as you look out for each other, you will always be on a winning team." The boys giggled, and then Eli hollered to Cooper and Peyton, "Button hook!" But he took off across the yard. Peyton smiled as Cooper snapped the ball back to him. He knew his play. "Get open, Eli," he shouted. And there's Eli. It looked like Eli would run clear into the next lawn. Suddenly, he planted his foot and turned in toward his brothers. "Hit me, Pate," he said. Peyton fired the pass. It was a perfect pass and a perfect catch, but Eli's foot landed in a puddle. Cooper and Peyton cracked up as Eli did a muddy dance. Later that afternoon, they joined a football game near the town's fire station. It was Peyton's turn at quarterback. Peyton handed the ball off to a teammate for a runaround, but the play did not work. The team lost yards. Peyton looked over at the old fire truck and remembered his mother's words. Then he looked at Cooper and Eli. "Eli, this one is for you," Peyton said. "Ring the alarm." It's called Ring the Alarm. So they're running all these different football plays that they have names for. They ran the hook and ladder play. Cooper was the best receiver, so he got the tricky part. Once the ball was snapped, he ran down the side of the field. Peyton hit him with a short pass. Cooper saw the defense coming his way. No one noticed little Eli running up behind him. Just as Cooper was being tackled, he flipped the ball back to Eli. "Go, E," he shouted. Eli caught the ball and ran for the touchdown. There they are in the car, asleep. It looks just like the way our kids would look. Ollie, Henry, and Vivian would all be asleep like that after a busy, busy day of playing. I bet you two would too, huh? Early the next morning, Grandma Sis made silver dollar pancakes with blueberry syrup for breakfast. After the boys helped with the dishes and said their goodbyes, they piled back into the car to visit their other grandparents in Philadelphia, Mississippi. The boys slept most of the way there. As the car pulled into the driveway, Archie honked the horn. Their grandparents were standing on the big front porch waiting for them. There they are, their other set of grandparents. "Gan Gan," they shouted to their grandmother. "Papa," they called to their grandfather. Soon the boys were in the front yard. Eli was already on the bike he liked to ride around town. His brothers were getting ready to follow him when the postman came by with the mail. Eli pointed to the postman and hollered to them, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Cooper and Peyton didn't need to say a word. There's the postman. They'd come up with their own hand signals for some football plays. This was one of them, the post pattern. Peyton pressed his fingers together and made a slashing motion with his hand. He motioned at an angle toward the far side of the yard. Cooper took off, using all of his speed. He ran straight at first, just as Peyton released a rainbow pass. Cooper cut in at the angle toward the center of the field. He stretched out his hands and caught the ball. Eli watched everything from his bike. He laughed when he heard Cooper call out, "The postman always delivers." This is this picture. When they returned to their grandparents' house, their mom was waiting on the porch. "Hurry and get ready. We have a long drive ahead of us." They said goodbye to Gan Gan and Papa. "We'll be back soon," they said, waving their hands. Eli, Peyton, and Cooper piled into the back seat. 13, said Eli. "That's easy. Dan Marino," said Peyton. The numbers game started again. It was getting dark when they got home. Their dad got out of the driver's seat. "I've got an idea," he said. "Why don't we finish that game?" "Not too long," said Mom. "It's almost supper time." And there's their dad, Archie, right here, with all of the children, Eli, Peyton, and Cooper Manning. The boys looked over. Somehow their dad had gotten his hands on the football. "Family huddle," Archie called. Eli, Peyton, and Cooper ran over to him and linked arms together and listened to the play. "Break, on one," their dad said, and they did. The brothers smiled and sprinted across the yard. Their mom was right. They were on a winning team. They were on a family team. The end. And this is a picture of all the different plays that we read about. This was the quarterback sneak. This one's the go deep. This one was the hook and ladder. They ran around the fire truck. This one was the fade route. This one was the button hook around a button. And this one is the post pattern, which is around the postman or the mailman, right? All right. Well, thanks for listening to this first installment of Aunt Allison's Read Aloud. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Love you, miss you. Bye-bye.